finally come. The Eagles reporting for duty. Dallas still stinks. Philly 500 report for duty. Yo, everybody, the way King Dingbat here, and it is that time of year. It is that time. The off season has finally come to the end because training camp is getting underway. That's right, the Philadelphia Eagles camp is open. Players have reported for duty for camp, and their first practice is tomorrow. Finally, it is time for football, and we're going to get into it in a second. Plus, we got some news coming out from Eagles camp we got to talk about. But before we do that, if you're new to the channel, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe for daily Eagles content, NFL daily content. And if you've been subscribed for a while, you know the drill. Double check, double moonwalk check. Make sure you're still subscribed. Quick announcement, I will be live tomorrow. I will try to be live the next few days as much as I can. I'll be live at some point after their first practice tomorrow, whenever I can get home. I don't know the exact time, but I'll give you guys at least 2 or 3 hours notice ahead of time. But I will be live tomorrow, so look for that. Now, before we get into all the camp matters, we got to talk about a move the Eagles made. First thing is the Eagles did not sign JaQuan Hardy. Okay, when I did that first video, there like I said in the video, there were a lot of varying reports. Some people saying the Eagles were signing him. Some people were saying he was getting a workout. So we weren't really 100% sure. Well, it turned out he came in, he had a tryout. He must have stunk. I don't know what to say. It didn't go well. The Eagles didn't sign him. Instead, today, the Philadelphia Eagles signed defensive tackle Kobe Smith. Aaron Wilson reported this, and a bunch of other people. Philadelphia Eagles are signing defensive tackle Kobe Smith, according to league source. Now you're saying, who the hell is that? That's a great question. He was an undrafted free agent for the Tennessee Titans, I believe last year, was with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on their practice squad, had no playing time, hasn't played. But here's a little scouting report on him. And this comes from Lance Zierlein of NFL.com. He says, he's 6'2", 300 pounds, 24 years old. He doesn't have imposing physique of former teammate Javon Kinlaw, but Smith played with strength and grit to hold his own at the point of attack nonetheless. The ability to sit down and anchor against double teams and go power for power against single blocks is one of the most endearing qualities. He lacks body control and lateral quickness and doesn't offer much range as a playmaker when forced to play on the move. He offers no value as a pass rusher, which could be hard cap on his overall value, but his run defense gives him a chance of earning a roster spot in the future. So, to me, when we hear about this kid, it just sounds like he's a camp body. Sounds like he's a very, very long shot to make the Eagles at the defensive tackle position, especially with this team and how deep they are. I mean, you've got Fletcher Cox, Javon Hargrave, Jordan Davis, Milt Williams, Marlon, I can't ever pronounce his name, Noah Ellis, Marvin Wilson, Rennell Wren, somebody I kind of like a little bit. So there's a lot of guys ahead of him on that depth chart. You got to figure he is a long shot. However, the Eagles use the one roster spot they had open from getting rid of Craig James, and they bring in a defensive tackle. I still believe that they need a running back. I still think you need a physical running back, a Jordan Howard type guy. There are reports that actually Howard may be working out with the Saints. So we gotta watch out for that. But I do expect the Eagles to add a running back at some point. And the fact that they brought Hardy in, to me, that was a tell that this is a team that was going to look for a running back. And I still think they're going to do that. So we'll see. However, training camp is underway. Players are reporting. They're probably taking their physicals, taking measurements and all that stuff, getting ready for tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll have Nick Sirianni press conferences. We're going to have the first practice. I believe it's 10 a.m. Eastern. And it's going to be fascinating. There are so many battles on this roster that I'm just dying to see, okay? But here are a few that stand out to me. One, the tight end position. The tight end position, I think, is a fascinating position. Not the starting position, but the second tight end. Who is going to win that spot? Because I got to tell you, I think it's wide open. If I had to do a depth chart today and before the first practice, I would say that most likely you would have to put Richard Rodgers as your number 2 tight end. Now, when he's played for the Eagles, he's been pretty good. He's got talent. He can play. My biggest issue with him is I think he gets hurt too much, a little banged up. Okay? But I would, in my depth chart, I would have him number 2. Then I would have Stahl at 3. Then I would have that Calcaterra at 4. And Whiteside is buried on that mother humping depth chart. Gotta keep him off the field. Okay, to me, it will be such a surprise if J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, the umbrella man, Mary Poppins, went out and actually made the team as a tight end. Okay, it would be shocking to me. It would be shocking. And no, he's not going to make it as a blocking tight end. I think there's a big difference between blocking defensive backs and blocking linebackers and defensive ends. I think he has to win it as a receiving tight end. And with 2 left feet as hands, I don't know if that's going to happen, But I would say Richard Rodgers, Stahl, Calcaterra hasn't played yet, so I can't say anything. And then, of course, Tyree Jackson, to me, is a guy who I just want him on the roster one more year. I want to stash him. He's coming back from injury. There's no rush to bring him back. They already put him on physically unable to perform list. So he's not going to be ready for start of camp. Just stash him, put him away, let him get healthy, let him learn again this year, and then next year is his real, that's his real challenge to win a spot then. I would not be surprised at some point in training camp the Eagles brought in another tight end as well as another running back. But it's a fascinating camp battle. Then this whole Jalen Reagor thing, right? This whole Jalen Reagor thing, I can't imagine if this guy's buried on a depth chart like we all think he is, that he is going to remain with the Eagles. But as long as he's there, are the Eagles going to try to build up his trade value? I talked about this yesterday. I didn't get to answer all the comments, but I know some people are saying, well, Zach Ertz was a better player. You're saying do what they did with Ertz, but Ertz was a better player. That is so true. That is so true. But you can still build a guy's value up the same way as Zach Ertz. If a team's out there that thinks, hey, this kid has talent, if we gave him a shot and he was with our system, we would know how to use him. We can fix him. That's what you want. But, when you look at the wide receiver position, there's going to be a battle for that third wide receiver spot. If I was doing an unofficial depth chart, I would have Quez Watkins as my number 3, Pascal as my number 4. Some people will reverse that, not me, because I love Quez Watkins. Love Quez Watkins, and I think he's got a monster year. I think Quez Watkins got a big year, man. I'm excited. I'm very excited. Quez Watkins is one of the guys I'm most excited about on this roster. So that's going to be interesting battle, that third wide receiver spot. On the defensive side of the ball, I think the whole linebacking position is going to be interesting. I mean, T.J. Edwards was your best linebacker last year, but you've added Kaiser White, you've added Nakobe Dean. I think you're going to have some good battles at the linebacker spot. And then, of course, safety. I think Tart versus Anthony Harris. That's what I'm assuming it's going to be. Don't know for sure. Maybe they want Tart to compete with Epps, but I think more than likely it's going to be Tart versus Anthony Harris, and I think that's going to be a very interesting battle. Fans seem to be very split on that. Some people think that Anthony Harris is better. Some people think Tart is better. The thing about it is they're both on a 1-year contract. I think Tart has a little more left in the tank, and I think he's going to wind up winning it at the end. I also think he's a little better in pass coverage than Anthony Harris. So I would have Tart start. Tart start. I like that. We need a shirt. But I think it's an interesting battle nonetheless. There's a ton of good battles on this. Even if you look at the right guard spot, is Sayamalu going to take it? Are they going to cross-train Juergens? I want to see it. What about the running back spot? Kennedy Brooks. Is he going to be able to win that Jordan Howard job? So many fascinating things. And I think one of the big, most underrated parts of training camp, and something that I think the Eagles desperately need to find, is you need a punt returner. You need a kick returner. I like Greg Ward. I do. He guy that comes as a quarterback, becomes probably one of your better wide receivers the last few years. But when it comes to like punt returns, he's only good to fair catch it or gain 2 yards receiving after catching it. I want somebody that can make some plays. I want somebody that can break something. I want somebody that can change the position on the field. You know, field position is very underrated. If you have a guy in the punt return game, special teams, that can change the field position in a game once or twice, it's huge for a team. So can somebody like Devon Allen, Britt Covey, whatever, can somebody win the punt return game? That's what I want to see. There's a lot of fascinating camp battles this training camp. It's going to be fun, and we're just getting started. Eagles report for camp, and most likely you'll probably see me later today some point. With that said, take care. Talk to you later. Of course, don't be a dingbat. It's how we vision. We're all just living in it. There's nothing like being right over your wife. It is nothing like winning an argument. And nothing she can say about it. You win. You know, I love it. We were talking yesterday about Better Call Saul. I showed you guys the little promo picture with the Cinnabon and then the ring on the plate. And it was in black and white, so we knew we were going to have a flash forward to Gene. If you haven't watched Better Call Saul, this is a spoiler alert because I'm going to talk about some things going on in it right now. So I'll give you 5 seconds. All right, so we were talking about it yesterday, and I was saying, I think that's his pinky ring. My wife is saying, no, that's his wedding ring. I think that's his pinky ring. She's like, oh, pinky ring, wedding ring. I got to get a pinky ring, by the way. But it wound up being a pinky ring. I think it's very interesting that they use the pinky ring for Saul like they use the hat for Heisenberg, right? When Walter White puts on the hat, he's like Heisenberg. When Jimmy McGill puts on that pinky ring, he's Saul Goodman. So it was a very interesting episode. The only thing I'm wondering about Better Call Saul now is I feel like pretty much every storyline has been resolved, and you still have 3 episodes to go. I really hope that we spend some time in the Breaking Bad timeline. I want more Breaking Bad timeline, and then you can give me some more Gene at the end too. I'm okay with that. But I mean, Gene everything was kind of resolved. So it was a different episode. It was a lot different than I thought it was going to be. Just had to talk about it. Denzel Washington out.